are the stars, 5 with the moon.
Okay, folks, so it is that time of the year. I have been watching a lot of Over the Garden Wall, and in fact, I am hoping that not too long after uploading this video that I will be able to have my rewatch reaction uploaded as well. But before I have that uploaded, I wanted to have a little bit something extra for Over the Garden Wall uploaded, considering the time of the year it is right now, and that little bit of something extra uploaded is me talking about the intro and the epilogue to the show. Now, I feel like I haven't seen anyone else out there talk about this little tidbit, but it's a nice little tidbit that just adds to the show, in my opinion. And I'm not going to sit here and run my mouth no more. So, fair warning, I'm going to start playing the intro and then stop it, and then start again, stop. And I think y'all are going to get the gist of what I've noticed. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this intro by simply playing it.
Led through the mist.
Oh, look who we meet. It's Beatrice. And who do we meet in the first episode?
By the milk light of moon,
Well, look at that. We've got a cat being pulled by 2 turkeys carrying pumpkins. What happens in the second episode?
that was lost is revealed.
Oh, it looks like somebody ended up joining the circus. I think y'all are seeing where I'm going with this. And look at that, in episode 4, we had somebody making wooden sculptures of townspeople in the tavern. And what do we have here?
Our long bygone burdens.
Oh, and look at that. It looks like old Unky Endicott there is seeing a ghost, like he saw in episode 5 of Mad Love.
Mere echoes of the spring. But where?
Granted, yes, we see Adelaide using those scissors right there in this intro, but we don't meet her until an episode later. But the part that is key to this part of the intro is the fact that those 2 young boys put the riverboat that leads them to Adelaide in the river, and that's what happens in episode 6.
Have we come? And where shall...
This part of the episode is a lot more menacing now that we know what we know from episode 7.
Shall we end?
And then, of course, we got the reference right there to episode 8, where the fish fishes out a human, which was Wart, out of the pond.
If dreams can't come true, then why not pretend?
And then it circles back around with us seeing that Greg is stealing the rock from Old Lady Daniels, and we also see the woodsman cutting wood as his daughter is gazing off into the woods. And ultimately, this brings us to the beginning of our story, but let's go ahead and just jump all the way to the end of the story and look at how the epilogue plays out.
And so the story is complete, and everyone is satisfied with the ending, and so
I still, for the life of me, don't know who the heck that is.
so on and so forth. And yet, over the garden wall,
How the gentle wind beckons through the leaves as autumn color.
We start back where we left off in the intro, and we get to see that the woodsman is reunited with his daughter.
Fall, dancing in a
And then from there, we start counting back down our episodes in reverse, seeing the fish still fishing and catching himself a turtle.
swirl of golden
We also get to see how our characters from episode 7 are doing now, enjoying themselves a cup of tea.
memories, the loveliest.
Still counting down from our episodes, we are at episode 6 now, with the frogs hibernating and going back down into the mud.
Lies of all.
Endicott's new partner is now gazing at his portrait from episode 5. We've got us some new wooden figures for episode 4. Jumping back over to episode 3, we get to see that Jimmy can actually enjoy the circus without being stuck in the gorilla costume. Well, visiting the cat again from episode 2, and honestly, I kind of feel like this screenshot's a little creepy with those two skeletons on the floor, knowing what we know about this show now.
Honey, eat your dirt.
Mom, stop calling it dirt.
And then here we are back at the very beginning of where we started in our intro at the very beginning of the show and meeting Beatrice again and her family.
What are you gonna do about it? Turn us into bluebirds again?
Mom.
Now eat your dirt.
The loveliest lies.
And then, right there to end the whole series, we have Greg putting back the rock that he stole from Old Lady Daniels, easing his conscience of becoming a little thief. But, nonetheless, that is something that I found really interesting. Going back over this whole series is looking at that intro and seeing that they told us what exactly was going to happen right there at the very, very, very beginning. And it went from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then in the epilogue, we jump back to episode 8 and then jump to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. I've always found it interesting. Well, ever since I figured it out. It hasn't been long since I've actually just noticed this, so I don't know why I said I've always found it interesting, but I find it interesting nonetheless that it adds such a whole new dynamic to the storytelling aspect of this show that it is just outstanding. And every time I think that this show can't get any better, I just find a whole new detail to just gush over. And if there is any details out there that you figured out that nobody else seems to notice, please leave it down there in the comments below. Let me know about it, and then I can gush over it with you and just enjoy the show together and just love this fall cult classic. So with that said, y'all know what to do from here. Hit that like, tickle to subscribe, don't be texting and driving, and as Mr. Rogers always says,
and I like you as you are. I do.